Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
I am that dude, Bodkins.
Yeah, DP lost like, thief. Yeah.
Right, where he's wondering he's like, I
Patty da patty.
He won style, like no weight classes.
Yeah, basically, like I said, there's been a couple guys that are like,
It's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy.
That's just not my mentality, bro.
Yeah. Leave the ladder down. That's my always like, hey, somebody helped you out. Why not help somebody else out? Return.
Give a big round of applause for the one and only Bodkins Show.
For bringing Craig Counsell down the interstate in a move unexpected. I had people.
I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Bodkins Show. This is our weekly dump episode where we talk a little bit about everything from the past week in life, music, movies, sports, So, first of all, it seems way early right now. And it's just really because this stupid daylight savings time is absolute bullshit. This spring forward, I don't know which one's like the real time. I really don't. I don't know if it's like the fall back, if that's real, like the real time, or if it's the spring forward is the real time, but we need to get rid of whatever it is. We need to get rid of it. How are we living in 2025? We're like I believe we're one of the only few countries that actually do this shit, like move the clocks back forward and shit. I believe the myth or something. I'd have to look it up, and maybe I will later. But I think it has something to do with fucking farmers. At least that's what I was always told. Well, it's 2025, man. Like they can figure that shit out themselves. Like we're not. And this lose an hour of sleep, it fucks with people. I think they do that shit on purpose, man. Because then they're like, they got us for like a couple weeks to adjust, and we're just fucking, whether we're spring forward or fall back, it all sucks. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess now when you leave work, it'll be you'll think it's 4:30 instead of 5 or whatever. Either way, but the first 2 days, 3 days of trying to get up, it sucks because my body still feels like it's like 6:30, 7:30 in the morning, and here it is, 8:30. So, nonetheless, to talk about finally the return. He's back from his sabbatical. Give it up for my guy, Johnny Cruz.
What's going on, bro? Happy to finally be back after several weeks off.
Happy belated birthday too.
Thank you. Yep, it was my birthday on Tuesday, March 4th.
Now you get all the senior discounts.
I'm itching that much closer to getting that shit for real. I ain't even gonna front. But yeah, turned 49 on Tuesday. So, but yeah, I'm with you on this whole hour time change. I didn't even realize it was going on today until you mentioned it before the show. I wondered when I got up at 6:30 my time, and it was like, well, damn, I actually slept till 6 because I never sleep till 6:30 because of my back and shit. So I was like, oh shit, I actually got a good amount of sleep, and no, I didn't. The clock was moved forward, and I couldn't tell because my phone automatically does it, so I didn't even know. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it is something to do with farming and agriculture, some shit. That's why they do it, I believe. I don't know, but yeah, it does mess with you for at least a few days, getting used to it. But I'm all good. I'm happy to be here and ready to talk some shit about all that's been going on in the world of sports and entertainment and all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, Craig's saying it right here.
Right?
30 minutes in the middle never changes them again.
I'm down with that. Yes, please. Can we stop this already?
Yeah. Some states, Craig was telling me last night, we were watching the fights together, and he was saying like the state of Arizona they don't do that, or like they don't think they do that, which I was like, that's fucking wild. And I know some states don't, like some towns don't, like if you're close to like the time zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we won't change. Then like you're telling me like half the year on Central Time Zone and then half the year you're on East Coast Time Zone. That's fucking more confusing than anything.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not having to deal with no shit like that. But no, I'm with Craig on that one. Like, just pick a time and let's just stick with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I said, I think we're one of the only few countries that do that shit.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. All right, man, let's get into it. We got to start with the NFL, man. It has been crazy the last few days. First of all, the breaking news Friday, Geno Smith out of out of the Seahawks traded to the Raiders for like a 3rd round pick. That I did not see that happening at all.
No, I'm with you on that one. That is a bit surprising. Yeah, I mean, I get it with them starting new in Seattle. And of course, the Raiders would give up a 3rd round pick for an eye quarterback because it's not like Geno is anything major. But there was a lot of reports about possibly the Raiders going after Sam Darnold and stuff like that. So I guess they're not in the mix for Sam Darnold. But
now it's reported that Sam Darnold's going to go to the Seahawks,
right,
because they have an opening.
Yeah, but I guess I heard something that DK is asking for a trade. The young corner Wooten is unhappy now.
Wow.
Lockett is gone.
Yeah, Lockett. They cut Lockett. I didn't hear about the corner. DK. I did know he has asked for a trade. So which I think the writing was on the wall. Like JSN became their dude last year. I felt like.
Yeah, but I mean, Lockett's had his whole career there, and he's always been a dependable, like number 3 or whatever. I'm surprised. I mean, and they might have gone to him and seen if he would be willing to take a pay cut or something like that or whatever, just to keep him on the team. But I mean, he's a good number 3 or 4 wide receiver. Somebody will pick him up. He's got dependable hands. He's not afraid of the big moment. So. Watch him go to like freaking Kansas City or some shit like that and try to win a championship over there, or Philly or something.
I don't think he's going to one of them places. Like, I mean, the reports are that he wants $30 million a year. Seahawks want you to give up a first and maybe more.
You talking about DK?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was talking about Lockett. DK,
Lockett.
I'm not giving DK Metcalf $30 million a year, bro. For what? For you to just run deep?
Lockett as a veteran could go someplace and catch.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Lockett can go somewhere and steal a ring from somebody as a number 3 or 4 wide receiver.
Like D-Hop's place in Kansas City. D-Hop's a free agent.
Possibly, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, he's a very clutch player. He's not afraid of the big moment. He's got great hands. He knows how to run routes to get up. I mean, DK still, I don't know how long he's been in the league, 7, 8 years, 9 years, and his route running is still in question. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I'm good. I'm not getting. There's no way I'm getting DK
in the league for like 6 years, I think.
Yeah.
5 years.
Right, but I'm not giving DK $30 million. Hell no.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
No.
Everybody looks at him and they want him to be T.O., but I think he's like, our guy Football Talk with Bo on the Super Bowl podcast said he's more Des Bryant. You know what I mean?
Right.
It might be worse than Des Bryant.
I was about to say, and probably not even as good as Des Bryant either. Des Bryant ran pretty much every route in the route tree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With DK ain't running all that. When do you ever see DK run across the middle?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Never. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And he wants $30 million, and Seattle wants a first.
That's what they're talking.
Good luck with that. I mean, there'll be some dumbass team that'll give it to him, but nah, I'm not a big DK Metcalf fan.
Yeah, it'll be in it, man. So like going back to like Geno to the Raiders. So like this opens up the quarterback kind of carousel, right? Like now the Vikings, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to go in with JJ McCarthy? There's reports that they're the dark horse for Aaron Rodgers. Like, is he going to complete the Brett Favre trifecta? Like, is that going to happen?
Well, I don't know, man. if that's the case, then I mean, then you're essentially throwing away 2 years of this kid's 5-year, you know what I'm saying, first rookie contract. You know what I'm saying? Because he missed all of last year because of the injury, and yeah, you had a great year with Sam
I mean, the
Darnold,
Packers did
but
the same thing with Jordan Love. You know what I mean? Like, sit him out.
yeah, I know, but do you really want to go down that Aaron Rodgers, you know what I'm saying, situation? I don't know. I mean, I can understand getting a a veteran backup to be there in case the kid ain't ready
Yeah.
or whatever, but the money and all the shit you're gonna have to deal with
It depends on what
getting Aaron Rodgers.
It
Right,
depends.
but it's not like you get Aaron Rodgers and that's it. You know what I'm saying? You get everything that comes with Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? So
On the field, it was, as much people want to say, on the field it was still pretty good last year for a guy.
he was. I mean, he obviously wasn't what he was. You know what I'm saying? 4 or 5 years ago. But I mean, he will be a year, further away from the torn Achilles. So maybe that, maybe that makes it a little better for him. Because he didn't play horribly, but he didn't play nowhere near his level. But
yeah,
I mean, I guess if it's just a 1-year thing,
him and Justin, you wouldn't sign up for him, Justin Jefferson, and like that's the best situation for him. You know what I mean? Craig saying Danny Dimes, Vikings right hand, Dimes till JJ's healthy. I would rather have Aaron Rodgers to win a Super Bowl. Like everybody's like,
well, that's the thing though. Do the Vikings really feel like they're Aaron Rodgers away from winning the Super Bowl?
I mean, you see what they did with Sam Darnold last year. Who would you rather have?
Yeah, but that was was last year. I don't know if you're saying if they'll be able to replicate that again. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I hear you as far as the situation for Aaron Rodgers. I think that would be great for Aaron Rodgers because of the weapons that are there. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, yeah, I'd rather Aaron Rodgers than Danny Dimes.
Exactly.
Shit, I'd rather mostly anybody than Danny Dimes, to be completely honest. But I guess it all depends on how healthy JJ is. You know what I'm saying? If they think that he's gonna be ready to go from jump, then you know what I'm saying, then you can have some type of a veteran with experience to back him up, you know what I'm saying, in case he's not ready or if he struggles or whatever. But I don't know. There's a lot that comes with Aaron Rodgers besides the quarterback. So I don't know if they want to go down that.
There is, we know that, but like I would take I think that the juices were still worth the squeeze in Aaron.
But if you're Aaron, do you really want to follow the exact footsteps of Brett Favre?
Maybe not, but if it leads you to a chance to get to the NFC Championship game and a Super Bowl,
True. That's
you
true.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what people are like. Oh, the Giants are in on Aaron. Like, why the fuck? That's the place where I'm like, why the fuck would he go there? Why would he go to the Giants? Like that place doesn't make any sense. Like they're not, like, I get it from the standpoint of the Giants aspect, right? You get a great player, and really Dayball is coaching for his job next season, so they got to get it right. And then you draft maybe a quarterback at what are they at 4-3 or something like that?
Yeah.
You draft one there, and Aaron mentors him. But the problem is like, why would Aaron go there? They're not a Super Bowl contender. Aaron's trying to win Super Bowls. It doesn't make any sort of sense other than just to play the game for Aaron. And I don't think he just wants to, play the game.
Right. No, I agree with you on that one. If he plays, he's gonna want to play for a team where he has a chance to win.
I don't know why the Steelers should be making the phone call to me.
Yeah. I mean, as far as teams are concerned, they may not want to deal with, you know what I'm saying? I mean, again, Aaron Rodgers is going to come into the situation, unless he's completely humbled himself, he's going to come into the situation still like wanting certain things to be done his way. I
don't know.
Does he have any kind of a relationship with the dude from Minnesota, the coach?
KOC, I don't know. Him and Tomlin, he talks about all the respect he has for Coach Tomlin.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, and they got players there. I mean, yeah, I hear you on that one, but they may actually I don't know what the hell the Raiders are going to do because they're letting both Russell and Justin Fields go. So
You mean the Steelers? The Steelers.
yeah, the Steelers, right? Yeah, they're letting both of them go. So I have no idea, but that actually would make some sense. But
It
I mean,
seems like they're in on Fields and they're going to let Russ
yeah.
walk.
That's a hell of a division to have to go through for Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? To go through Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland. You don't know what the hell Cleveland is going to be next year, but it's Cleveland.
Dog shit.
Right. But you know what I'm saying, it's once again going through the AFC, and all the players in the AFC. I don't know. I mean, Minnesota may be the best bet for him.
I understand he's not the Aaron Rodgers at Green Bay is what we had in Green Bay, Craig, but like he still look at his stats last year. Like everybody, like he was on a shit. The team was shit, but his stats and everything else was good. And I understand like he's not playing like, you know what I mean. But he was coming off the Achilles injury. Now he's another year removed from that. Right. Speaking of that too, like Kirk Cousins, like it seems like Atlanta's going to keep him, which is fucking wild. Like they're just going to keep this expensive ass backup, but like he's kind of asked for a trade, and then there's talks of like maybe he goes back to Minnesota, you know, on a cheaper deal because like now we got the bag from Atlanta, but Atlanta's saying, hey, we want to keep him. And speaking of the AFC North too, like what the fuck are the Bengals doing? Like they tag T Higgins and they're going to try to work out a deal. Their best one defensive end retired in Sam Hubbard. The other one in Trey Hendrickson, they told him he can go seek a trade. That's your best player. The guy who's since he's been on your team has led the league in sacks.
Well, that's Cincinnati for you, bro. They're notoriously cheap.
I Mike Gesicki to like a 3-year deal.
Right. Yeah. They're notoriously cheap, bro. You know what I'm saying? So once they didn't want to give Higgins,
they're gonna say fuck it. We're just gonna score 50 and give 48.
That's their hope. That's the shit. Is that it seems like they have the mindset that you know, say we got Joe Burrow, so we can find a way to win games, regardless of who's around him and who we have on the defensive side. But yeah, Cincinnati's always been notorious for being cheap. The fact that they haven't taken care of the Jamar Chase and both of those guys should have been paid already. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep your top two playmakers for your
where he had the triple crown at receiver, and so now his price today's price ain't yesterday's price.
Right, and you could have got that shit done last offseason and had him locked up already.
They should have done it before Justin Jefferson got his deal and Dez got his deal.
Yeah,
because you know what I mean. Like how many times have we said that? Like if you're the first one to get the deal, you set the precedent, and everybody else is going to go up off of that. But if you're the last person, then you already got to pay him more than Dez, or not Dez, but CD and Justin Jefferson.
Right. Yeah. And again, they should have taken care of it. Him and Hendrickson, they should have taken care of last offseason. But this is what Cincinnati does. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to have, you know, there's going to be a demand for Hendrickson and his skill set. You know what I'm saying?
Green Bay pick up the we need a pass rusher. Like, why not? Like,
well, I mean, and Philly showed you the same thing that Tampa showed you a few years ago as well. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to beat Patrick Mahomes and these top-tier quarterbacks, you got to be able to put pressure with just 4.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's definitely one of those players. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Myles Garrett is another one. I don't know if he's still looking to get traded from Cleveland, but
the Browns have dug in. The Browns have dug in and said, we're not fucking trading you. Allegedly, he's tried to have a meeting one-on-one with the owner. Right. But I mean, this man wrote a whole ass fucking like love letter to Cleveland. Was pretty much like, yo, get me the fuck up out of here.
Right.
You know, I watched Joe Thomas spend his whole career here, not win shit. Like,
not win nothing. Right.
Yeah. The goal was to win Super Bowls. Like,
right. And the thing about Cleveland too is that like you're in no position to win a Super Bowl right now. You're saying like you've done this to yourself by making the bad decision of giving Deshaun Watson all that money.
Yeah.
Why not trade Myles Garrett and get a truckload of picks and shit like that to try to rebuild your team? You know what I'm saying? To try to start all over. So that one, I mean, that's just Cleveland being hard-headed about it. You know what I'm saying? Not wanting to give up on him. But if he doesn't want to be there, and he's been loyal this whole time, you know what I'm saying? And he's doing it about as respectfully as you can say. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's out in the street, you know what I'm saying, making a big fuss on social media and, you know what I'm saying, whatever, acting a fool about it. He just went to them straight up and said, look, he'd like to be traded. Make it happen. And again, teams
If you're
want
the
pass
Browns,
rushers.
why wouldn't you try to just stockpile picks? Like
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Stockpile
yeah.
picks, try to, you know what I'm saying, try to find yourself a quarterback and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they've done a good job with their draft picks the last few years. So why not, you know what I'm saying? Why not try to rebuild it that way?
Trade Myles Garrett for a first or some, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You'll get at least one first, depending on the team it is. But you can get a one, a couple threes. You know what I'm saying? Like even if it's over a couple years.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can probably get 4 or 5 picks from somebody, even if it's 2 1 year and 3 another year or something like that. But you can set yourself up for the next couple years to kind of rebuild it. But I don't know. But the teams are looking for pass rushers. Like I said, Philly showed what you need to do to beat these good quarterbacks is putting pressure on them. So there's going to be a demand for him and for Hendrickson. So, but as far as Cincinnati is I don't know, man. That's just what Cincinnati does. They're notorious for not wanting to pay anybody. But going back to the original point of the Aaron Rodgers thing, I mean, I guess Minnesota would make the most sense. I know ideally for him it would be San Francisco, but they got to figure out what they're going to do with Brock in San Francisco. So I don't think they want to deal with the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. So
they're going to pay Brock Purdy up.
I think they have to. You know what I'm saying? But is Brock Purdy trying to like reset the market, or does he just want like a good comparable? You know what I'm saying, to all the other top 10, 12 quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Is he looking for something like that, which is reasonable? Or is he trying to like, reset the market and be one of the top 2 or 3 guys? Because I don't know that he's worth that.
They could franchise tag him like the next 2 years, and he's still like one of the, you know what I mean? He's still not reaching elite money. So like they kind of got him on a good deal. To kind of also just kind of talk about real quick some other moves real fast. The Jaguars are pretty much cleaning house. They traded Christian Kirk, cut Evan Ingram. Trevor Lawrence is looking around the locker room. He's just going to be him and Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that kid's a stud, man. I like Brian Thomas Jr. a lot. But yeah, you're saying they cleaned house with the coaching and the front office and all that. So might as well get rid of the higher contracts that they had on there. Which I get that. You still got 4 more years left on Trevor's contract. So might as well get whatever assets you can for those few players, and hopefully you draft well. And you're saying the thing is that they're in the South, the AFC South. So that's a winnable division. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
I mean the Texans are still should be pretty good next year.
Right.
We'll just see what happens there. They're losing. They've already kind of ruled out Tank Dell. Who knows what happens with Diggs? I mean, they did just trade for the Christian Kirk, so that kind of solidifies some of that stuff. They still got Nico Collins, they still got Stroud and Joe Mixon. So we'll have to see. Some other big notable players that were cut this past week. Devontae Adams is officially a free agent. Joey Bosa, the Chargers saying later. Joey Bosa, like that's not really shocking because of the price tag, but it'll be interesting where he goes. Like that's still when he's healthy, still elite pass rusher. Like does he go to, there's reports that maybe his mama wants him to join his brother in San Francisco, so they only got to go to one.
That's a situation there where that's no surprise that they wound up cutting him. Like you said, he's one of the better pass rushers when he's healthy. That's been his biggest issue. I think I saw somewhere where he pretty much missed basically half of the games that he was eligible to play over his career with injuries. So you're saying he's missed a lot of games, but yes, when he's out there, he's effective. But it's going to be interesting to see because if Myles Garrett is available, and then like we mentioned Hendrickson, like there's a few pass rushers. Sweat from Philly's going to be out there. Hassan Reddick after that debacle with the Jets is going to be. So there's a lot of pass rushers that are going to be out there. So
No, I think Hassan Reddick signed a deal with the Jets to stay there, like last offseason, like in the season. So like he got extended. Like
they actually took care of something, and
I don't know
after all the drama that was
so.
going on most of the season, where he was holding out or whatever.
Yeah, then he signed like a 2-year, 3-year deal. It wasn't like a 1-year deal.
Oh, okay. But I don't know. I mean, I like Joey Bosa, like I said, when he's healthy though, but he's just not healthy that long. So I guess it would depend on how much he's going to be asking for. But that would make sense to go play with his brother.
Yeah, I think sometimes when a guy already got paid and then like he's kind of you know, he's been around for a while. I'm trying to, how many years Joey Bosa been? So he's played in 343 total games, but I don't know how many years that is here. Oh, so he got drafted in 2017. So like, you know, like that's what's that? He's like year 9.
Yeah.
Going into year 9, like year 8, year 9.
Yeah.
So you know, he's kind of reaching that top of the ceiling here.
Yeah, I think I don't know if he's 30 already or on the other side of 30 already. But yeah, I mean, he's in a situation, like you said, he already made a ton of money. So I would go to a situation where they have a chance to win.
Yeah, he turns 30 this year.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, go somewhere where you have a chance to win.
Yeah.
You know, shit, be spiteful, go to Kansas City and you get to play the Chargers twice. You know what I'm saying? Or some shit like that.
They traded Joe Thuney like to the Bears.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how you watch the Super Bowl and say, you know what, we needed to get rid of our offensive line because I think that's, and maybe they just couldn't afford them. But to me, like that's huge. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe they obviously think sometimes it's better to get rid of a guy maybe too early than too late. So
yeah, I understand that too. Even though you had him playing out of position, because you had him playing tackle when he's when he's been a guard. Yeah, he has tackle experience or whatever, but he's been playing guard for the last several years before this season when you had him at tackle. But I'm not going to question the Chiefs because they'll redo their offensive line on the fly just like they did a few years ago after the Super Bowl loss to the Bucks. They went and wound up redoing their entire offensive line, so they'll probably wind up doing something similar. I don't know what they got for Joe Thuney from that trade with Chicago, but Chicago
a pick.
Right. Chicago needs to do whatever they can to try to protect their quarterback. So I understand what Chicago's doing, but yeah, Kansas City will find a way to redo their offensive line, knowing them.
Yeah,
because they probably traded Joe Thuney so they can try to keep Trey Smith
and then add some offensive line. So so Craig said next year's 4th rounder for Thuney, so not even like this year. So they pretty much just
gave him away. Yeah.
Let's shift gears to the NBA. Johnny, I haven't really even talked to you, I don't think, since the Luka Doncic trade from the Lakers. The Lakers have been on a run since then. They did lose last night. LeBron got kind of a groin injury. They lost to the Celtics 111-101. They've climbed to the 2nd seed in the West. But I want to go back to the opposite end of that trade, and none other than the Dallas Mavericks. And we saw now Kyrie out for the year this past week, torn ACL. Anthony Street Clothes Davis is still in street clothes after playing a half with the Mavs. And it seems like they're like, no, Kyrie, we might as well shut AD down. Karma's a motherfucker, and it came and got the Mavs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talk about you mentioned it in the thumb. Talk about cursed or whatever. I mean, I still can't. I slightly understand their thought process of trading Luka.
I don't slightly understand it. I don't get it. I don't.
Well, if the reports were true and they were really worried about his work ethic and the time that he was putting in
on the Lakers, he's averaging. He's putting up triple. His work ethic has been the work ethic his whole time, and I don't know. He's one of the top 5 ball players in the NBA in the world.
No, I completely agree with you, and I wouldn't have traded him. You know what I'm saying? But I would have probably, if you did have issue with certain things or whatever, as far as his health and stuff like that, I would have just tried to talk to him about, you know what I'm saying, doing a better job of, taking care of himself so that he is healthy and can last the whole season. But yeah, you're saying for all the complaining they were saying about his work ethic and his conditioning and stuff like that, he was still all NBA 5 times out of his 6 years and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yes, he is a top 3 to 5 player in the
He's
league.
starting to enter his prime. Like, you
Right.
know what I mean? Like,
right. And of course, him going to the Lakers, you know what I'm saying, he got humbled a little bit by the fact that he even got traded. And now he's out, he's playing for, one of the premier franchises in LA with LeBron. So of course he's gonna ball out. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But as far as Dallas, like, this is kind of what you get when you trade a franchise player for Anthony Davis.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Anthony Davis is a hell of a player when he's healthy, but how often is he healthy is the problem.
The best ability is availability. Yeah.
Absolutely. And of course, he was having like a monster game when he got hurt too. So he was he teased the hell out of the Dallas Mavericks fans because he was just all kinds of dominant. And they were like, hell yeah. And then all of a sudden, he's he's grabbing his groin and he's gone.
Hey, it's like at the strip club where the stripper's grinding on you. Said, come on, Dad, you can have all this, and then you're like, what? And then you try to go to the ATM, and the next thing you know, she's gone. She with the next one.
Right. But yeah, the Kyrie injury. I mean, they might as well just shut down AD then. If Kyrie, because they're not gonna be able to do anything. You know, saying let's just let him recuperate.
They're 10th right now. They're 10th at 500. So technically, they'd be in that the great play-in tournament.
Yeah. The LeBron special play-in. Yeah. I mean, the way it is now, though, with no Kyrie and no Anthony Davis, I mean, they could easily spiral out of control here and wind up with a lottery pick. You know what I'm saying?
Just imagine if they would have got more picks from for Luka too. Like, that's what
that's the part of the trade that I don't understand. Like, I would have insisted on Anthony Davis, a first round pick, and I would have taken like that Dalton Connect kid that they just drafted this year, or I would have asked for Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
So, some young asset I would have asked for to go along with Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. So I'm surprised.
Need the next 3 first-round picks. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I think the NBA has like certain things where they don't allow you to do certain stuff like that. So
they don't.
I think they only had a couple of first rounders available, because the first one that they were able to give them is like in 2027. You know what I'm saying? So I think the next one that they have is like 2031 or some shit like that.
Round picks, like, you know what I mean? Didn't the Nets do that for the fucking KG and Paul Pierce, like 7 first-round picks or something?
Yeah, they can't do consecutive years, I believe. So it was like every other year for like the next 5 years and shit like that, or something like that.
I'm gonna need every other year for the next 10 years.
That was crazy. But yeah, I would have at least asked for some more than that, especially with AD's health concerns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm at least getting one of these young kids.
Yeah. I think Craig's right. It is only like 5 years out or something like that, I think.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They have some kind of restrictions on what you're allowed to trade or something like that. Yeah, with your first rounders or something like that. So, but again, I would have made sure that either Austin Reeves or that Dalton Connect was part of that trade. Like I said, a good young player to go with them.
Yeah, now Reeves is, I mean, like, the Lakers, like, what's happening now is LeBron doesn't have to run the point, and he just gets to run out. You know what I mean? And
well, I mean, it forces the Lakers to not run the offense through LeBron James, which was their problem for the last few years. As much as LeBron is putting up numbers, and for all you LeBron lovers out there, you know what I'm saying, don't come at me. You know what I'm saying? He's a good player. But he wasn't even the best player on his team. Anthony Davis, when healthy, was the better player overall on the team. Now you got a generational player in Luka who handles the ball. So now LeBron can kind of play off of him.
And that's what he does his best. Like when he was like kind of like him and Wade, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's when LeBron, when he has another ball handler that can take some of that pressure off, i.e., Kyrie, Dwayne Wade, like,
Right.
and he can run and kind of gun. And one thing I think that'll help Luka is he's going to learn how to be a professional with a guy who's 40 years old, and still is just
I mean, and
in shape.
From what I heard, Luka looked up to LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's his favorite player growing up. So hopefully, LeBron, instills in him the importance of taking care of your body. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So can you imagine a fucking Luka that's like physically fit? Like, that's a scary thought, bro. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, I love Luka's game and the whole shit. Like, I would not have traded Luka. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm making sure that he's forever on my team. But can you imagine if he actually like takes his workout and his health seriously and stuff like that? Like that's a scary thought, bro.
I don't want to stick on the Lakers too long because Charles Barkley will fucking be yelling at us. Like,
I can only do so much Laker talk anyway.
Did you see that? Charles talking shit on ESPN.
No, I missed that. I saw some reactions to it, but I didn't hear the actual rant from Charles Barkley.
So Charles was like, "How come he's like pretty much was like." And he's like, I'm tired. And he named, what's his name, Shaq? He's like, who? He's like, Kendrick Perkins. He's like, Kendrick Perkins talking about, the Lakers and how they're so damn good. And then, he's like, I know we're going to go to that network next year. But he's like, can y'all stop talking about the Lakers? He's like, he's like, the Thunder and
the Cavs.
The Cavs. Yeah, he's like, the Thunder and the Cavs have been good all season. Y'all never mention them. And which is kind of true.
It is true.
You know what I mean?
It's always Lakers. It's always Cowboys.
Yeah,
like that's what drives their ratings because those are the two popular teams.
He kind of went after ESPN. I'm like, oh shit, I can't wait till Charles tweeted out something was pretty much like, yo, you can find me in the hallway, old man. I would probably put my money on if Shaq is going to help Barkley, even though Barkley's kind of that at advanced stage. I would put my money on Shaq and Barkley over Perk, but Stephen,
I don't know. Kendrick Perkins is, I don't know. He looked like he a little crazy too. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
But you're saying
Stephen A did come out and he said he didn't take any offense to it. He's like, Charles is Charles. He doesn't understand TV, is what he said. Like, which is basically.
It's a TV show.
Stephen A is right. Like, he knows what drives the numbers. You know what I mean? Like when they talk about the Lakers and LeBron, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because you got all the sycophants that want to hear every single thing that they could possibly hear about LeBron James. So they're gonna talk Lakers again, just like the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys get so much coverage, even though they haven't done shit since '95. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the way, that's the way TV, sports TV works. And I guess Charles is just talking basically like, if you're a basketball show, then you should be talking about the whole league. Like, I understand First Take and shows like that if they want to harp on the Lakers and the Cowboys and stuff like that. But if you're an NBA show, like NBA Today or whatever that they have on ESPN, I don't even watch that shit because it's crap too. But you're supposed to be talking about the whole league. Not just one team and one player. You know what I'm saying? SGA, so I get what Charles is talking about when he says that.
To OKC's point, like SGA, he's going to be MVP this year.
Right.
He's average.
He's one of the best players in the league, man, and he's so much fun to watch. And he's not all 3-point. He's not shooting 23 pointers a game. You know what I'm saying? He drives to the basket. He's got a good mid range. He can post up.
They're going to be the first team in the West again. Like, they'll be the number one.
They got a hell of a lead. You know what I'm saying? 11 games over the Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? For second place in the West, and like he's right about the Cavs. You know what I'm saying? 53-10. I mean, props to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they got a young squad too. I mean, obviously Donovan Mitchell.
They're the first team to the playoff berth too.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Obviously Donovan Mitchell isn't that young, but it's not like he's old.
Yeah,
and they got a bunch of young.
In 7 games, I still take the Celtics.
Yeah, because you got Tatum and Brown. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna take those two. I'm gonna take those two over Donovan Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? And I like Cleveland going and getting Hunter from Atlanta to kind of, reinforce a 3-and-D type guy, a wing player. But I think they needed that one more like legit guy that can get a bucket anytime. You know what I'm saying? So that it's not just Donovan Mitchell, but as far as the way they play team basketball, it's going to be an interesting series. But when it comes down to it, I mean, unless Tatum chokes, because if you look back, I don't think Tatum had the greatest finals this past final. It was Jaylen Brown that kind of dragged them to that championship, but they still got that 1-2 punch. So yeah, I wouldn't. We've talked about this plenty of times. I'm a believer until you beat the champ, I'm going to give the champ the benefit of the doubt. So
Yeah.
I'll give Boston the benefit of the doubt in the best of 7 against Cleveland.
Same. I want to switch gears real quick. One last subject here before we get into our kind of wrap up series here. Our last few segments here, but real quick on that. I had Tanner on last Sunday morning. We talked a lot bit of college basketball, and he pretty much said it's Duke and the SEC, like for the for the final. Like if you're gonna pick a team in the Final Four, and I watched that. Man, I watched one of the best things. So my kids finally have like a break from sports, so I was finally able to like sit down on a Saturday and watch college ball.
Yeah.
And that Auburn-Alabama game was really good yesterday. Went into overtime. Bama wins on a game-winning shot, knocks off the number 1 team in the country. But like you watch both of those teams, like both these teams could win could make a run. Kentucky, they've beaten the most, like they're number 19 in the nation, but they've set the school record this year for beating top teams in the top 25. As they beat Missouri yesterday, but like that shows you like the depth of the SEC and how good like Kentucky is, even though they've had some losses. Like Tennessee is still right there, Florida, like so it'll be interesting. And then it's like, and then Duke, who just absolutely once was a great rival in North Carolina and Duke. Right now, North Carolina is nowhere near on the level of Duke.
Yeah, no, Duke has done a really good job of recruiting these last few years, and of course, that Cooper Flag kid is ridiculously good.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, the SEC. I mean, the SEC for the last few years has done really well as far as college basketball, specifically Alabama and Tennessee. Kentucky, of course, is Kentucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole SEC is pretty good. They've come up a lot.
Going to be that tournament.
The SEC tournament is going to be crazy. Wow, and I'm with Craig on that one. Don't sleep on Houston. Yeah. They're a really good team as well. But yeah, if you're gonna go, I mean, I really like what Duke is doing. I really like Cooper Flag. The Proctor kid at point guard has been there for a couple years. They've got some good players, so it's going to be interesting to see it. And the ACC isn't as strong as it usually is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't see why Duke can't run through the ACC tournament, and they should have a number 1 seed. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. That's the great thing about March, man.
It's crazy. Selection Sunday is a week from today.
Yeah, dude. We're already 9 days into March. It's crazy how quickly this year is going by, but yeah, we got the March Madness coming up after these few tournaments, and spring training is going on. We almost got baseball's about to start. We're reaching. The
baseball game starts this week, actually, in Japan.
Yeah. Okay. That shit to me, it don't count. It counts, but it don't count. You know what I'm saying? Until we have legit opening day here, you know what I'm saying? And nothing but love for Japan. Nothing but love for Japan, and I like what they're trying to do, but those games should not count, especially because don't they come back and then play more preseason games?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I said that last week, too. So, I'm a Cubs fan. Like if you're going to go over there and make them exhibition games.
Right. Make them exhibition games, and then, you know what I'm saying, if you got to give them some time off when they get back to recuperate before the actual season starts, then that's what you do. But you don't make these games count. But no, it's a great time of year for sports. You know what I'm saying? Again, baseball season is right around the corner to start their regular season. reaching the end here for the NBA and NHL in the next couple months or whatever. You got the WNBA season starting in a couple months, so it's a really good time for sports coming up, man. So I like this. I like this time of year.
All right, before we get into your movie review, we got our newest segment. It's called Around the Web. And
All right.
the internet is cooking, and they are cooking on none other than Casey Anthony, who decided to poke her head out of wherever the fuck she's been, create a TikTok, and is giving out legal advice, Johnny. I mean,
my God.
If you're new to the world, folks, you don't know who Casey Anthony is. About a decade ago, she was on trial. Now, widely admitted that she was acquitted, I guess you could say, for not murdering her daughter. But she was, guilty of lying to the police, and there was, I believe, something else in there. But they had something to deal with her child because or lying, moving evidence or something.
Right.
She lied to the police about where her whereabouts were her daughter, and come to find out too that they only did a background, like the police only did a investigative on her, like did it on her computer for like Internet Explorer, not Firefox. And Firefox there was some like extra strangulation. But anyway, Casey Anthony decided to poke her head out on the internet, and there's new people on the internet who don't know who Casey Anthony is. But for us old heads who've been around for a while,
yes.
I'm not tuning into Casey Anthony's TikTok.
No, I have no desire at all to watch that. I remember that whole trial.
Yeah, that's your neck of the woods. That's like what, an hour from you?
Yeah, it's not that far at all. It was a big case. Me and my wife were watching pretty much everything about that whole Casey Anthony thing. So now she's doing a TikTok, giving out legal advice. So I guess she must have read the O.J. Simpson book of what not to do after you get acquitted for murder. Because all the evidence showed
if I did it.
OJ's book was If I Did It, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So now Casey Anthony is giving out legal advice on TikTok. It's like, holy shit. Like,
to her credit, I mean, if there's somebody I might want to take legal advice, it might be somebody who did get away with it.
I mean, I guess, but how about going to her attorney as opposed to her for legal advice? You know what I'm saying? Like, they actually got her off on it, but that's oh my God, the internet is something else. But I have no desire to hear or see anything that Casey Anthony has to say, dude, because that was a hard one to live through.
Yeah, she's just got like, if you're her, you just gotta go away, right? Like,
right, that's what I'm saying.
That was only mildly worse than Trayvon.
Right, yeah, you got away with it essentially. So just bounce and stay out of the limelight. You know what I'm saying? And just
change your name, change your
name, right? You know what I'm saying? And go, but I don't know, man. That's a crazy one there. I did not know nothing about that. Wow.
Yeah, she's on the talk. She's made a TikTok talking about, she is given legal advice. She's been like this and that. I saw a thing too where she was like having an affair with a father of 2 kids. I mean, as a dad, I don't know if that's the last person I want to have an affair with.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm good.
So, yeah. That was around the web. So
yes,
that was
nice.
That was this week's big internet story cooking. So
and if you don't know the particulars behind that, definitely look into it. It was crazy, bro. That whole situation was just crazy. And the fact that she got acquitted on that was like, it's hard to understand how. But
yeah.
That's the way shit happens. But then, you got to pop out now and with a TikTok, like, come on, man. Like, anyway.
Yeah. But to the people that are saying, I will say this, and like, I actually had this conversation with my wife. I said she was acquitted, and she is free to do whatever the fuck she wants to do, but you know, you probably shouldn't be doing some of the things that you want to do.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, again, she was acquitted, so you know what I'm saying? And in the eyes of the law, she didn't do any, she didn't murder her. She did do some shit wrong, and she, I'm saying, whatever, she got in trouble for the stuff she supposedly did wrong, but it's just a crazy story and situation, and I'm saying, to have basically gotten off as lightly as she did, considering the circumstances, like lay low, you know what I'm saying, and just but I guess
that old Snoop Dogg song, bitch, you gotta lay low.
Right. But you know what I'm saying, the shit is that money, and she seemed like she liked being in the spotlight, you know what I'm saying, when she was younger. So you know what I'm saying, it was only a matter of time before she did some stupid shit like this. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens if something winds up happening, she gets herself in trouble or some shit. But the interweb is something else, boy.
Yeah, it is. All right, we got into we'll get into your brief I guess show review. Oh, before you go, if you're into stand-up comedy, I watched the Andrew Schultz stand-up special. It's on Netflix. The one that just came out this week. Fucking absolutely crushed it. Me and the wife both crying, laughing, dying laughing. The shit was top tier.
Nice.
So, that was I would recommend that if you want to watch any stand-up comedy. It's crushed it. Go ahead, John.
I love stand-up comedy, so I'm definitely gonna take that into account. I can watch that shit anytime. I'm gonna throw in two, since I haven't been here for a few weeks. A quick movie review. We went last night to go see that Novocaine. I think Jack Quaid is the kid's name, where he has the condition where he can't feel any kind of pain. He's an assistant manager at a bank. He falls for one of the teller girls at the bank. The bank gets robbed. She gets taken, and then he goes on a mission to rescue her or whatever. And it's a lot of fun, and it's funny, him trying to get her back. Again, during that whole time, like he's dealing with all these different situations that would cause us normal people a tremendous amount of pain. But of course, him not being able to feel pain, it just makes it a lot of fun. So that was pretty good. I would recommend going to see that if you just want to have some fun and go watch a movie. As far as the TV show Paradise, it's a TV series on Hulu. One of the best shows that I've seen in a very long time. It's only 8 episodes long. They're about 45, 50 minutes per episode. Definitely check it out. I don't want to completely spoil it, but there's a lot of twists and turns in it. It's very well written, very well acted, very well acted in that. The ending is going to shock you. The end of the first episode is going to shock you, but episode 7 in particular is one of the best episodes of TV that I've ever seen. Again, I don't want to completely spoil it, even though I have the spoiler alert on there, but it is definitely worth watching. Paradise on Hulu. Definitely check it out. That gets 4.5 out of 5 for me. It's one of the best shows that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. I have to check it out. I don't think I've heard of it, so I have to check it out. All right. Was the Novocaine movie, is it good or no?
Yeah. The Novocaine movie was good. Like I said, it's a fun movie. It's a action comedy type movie. So, in the vein of like a Beverly Hills Cop type shit, something like that, where it's just funny and, what I'm saying, action type. Like I said, he's trying to rescue the girl that he's falling in love with, that works at the bank with him. And like I said, he has that disorder where he doesn't feel pain. So all kinds of crazy shit is happening to him, but he doesn't feel it or whatever. So he uses that to his advantage. So it was really funny, and it was well done. Definitely worth the price of admission if you want to go have some fun at the movies.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check it out. It looks like entertaining, like just a good entertaining movie.
Yeah. Right. It's a good kind of get lost in a movie. You know what I'm saying? It's fun.
Let's get into this week's top 5. It is the greatest women's athletes. This past, I think yesterday was International Women's Day. So, it's time for us to give praise to the lovely females who have entertained us in the world of sports. You know, I mean, we could have done top 5 greatest, you know, female singer. We could have done a lot. But we'll stick with the sports. And what do you? Who's your number 5?
All right, my number 5, and I struggled with the number 5 because I had a bunch of people on my list here. But I wanted to throw a WNBA player out there. I almost went Diana Taurasi. I almost went your girl Caitlin Clark, but I don't think she's deserving of a top 5 greatest women athletes of all time.
Not
yet. But she's inching closer. I'm going with Candace Parker. She's got 3 WNBA titles. She won a championship in college. She's the first women's player in WNBA history to win a championship with 3 different teams. She was all rookie and rookie of the year, MVP in the same year, only WNBA player ever to do that. She was all NBA 10 times. She was a defensive player of the year. She was a finals MVP. She was a MVP twice, rookie of the year, and the top 20 greatest WNBA players of all time. So I'm going with Candace Parker, WNBA basketball legend, as my number 5 top female women's athletes.
My number 5 is FloJo. Florence Griffith Joyner. You know, at the time in the mid 90s, she was the fastest woman alive.
Yeah.
You know, she still holds the world records for 100 meters and 200 meters. You know what she did in the she retired. I mean, the 88 in the 80s, not 90s, in the late 80s. Sorry, in the 88 Olympics. Sadly, she died in 1998. But she won the silver medal during the 84 Olympics in the 200-meter run. She took home 3 gold medals and a silver in the 88 Summer Olympics. She was named the Associated Press Female Athlete of the Year, Track and Field Magazine's Athlete of the Year. So yeah, FloJo is my number 5.
Yeah, I almost had her on here, but I went slightly different. I went with Jackie Joyner-Kersee as at my number 4. She was one of the greatest track and field athletes of ever. I want to make sure I pronounce this properly. The heptathlon, where it's multiple events. She did the long jump, but she's won.
She's my number 3.
Okay, she's your number 3. Yeah, she's got 6 medals, 3 gold medals. She is considered one of the greatest women athletes of all time. I probably did disrespect her a little bit by putting her at 4. You got her at 3, so we kind of got judged her the same way.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's one of the greatest athletes ever. She's in the Hall of Fame, indoor and outdoor track and field. She was just absolutely one of the best athletes ever. 4-time world champion, 3-time Olympic champion. She's got 2 world records. She's an NCAA title. Yeah, she's got all kinds of accomplishments. Jackie Joyner-Kersee is my number 4.
Yeah, I have her as my number 3. I flipped her and FloJo at the last minute here. My number 4 is Simone Biles. And you could maybe put her higher.
I got her higher.
Okay. But I have her at number 4. I mean, She's the greatest gymnast and Olympian. She's won 11 Olympic and 30 world championship medals. She's the most decorated gymnast in history. So, so she's won. She's the first African American to win all around championships and the first woman to win 3 consecutive titles. So,
all right.
Simone is my number 4.
Yeah, I got Simone a little bit higher on my list. My number 3, and this could be more just because I was personally a big fan. I got Steffi Graf as my number 3. She's got 22 Grand Slam titles. She's the only woman before Serena ever to win the Grand Slam of all the tournaments. I believe 2 years in a row where she won. Basically, she swept all the major titles 2 years in a row. Again, 22 grand titles under her belt. So I got Steffi Graf. She was a lot of fun to watch too. That was back in the Andre Agassi days and stuff like that. So yeah, I was a Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf fan back in the day. So I got Steffi Graf as number 3, one of the greatest tennis players ever.
Yeah, like I said, I have Jackie Joyner Curse. You already covered it as my number 3. Who is your number 2?
My number 2 is I'm going with Simone Biles. You mentioned it. You mentioned all her accolades: 11 medals, 7 gold medals. Considered the greatest gymnast of all time, female gymnast of all time. And she just, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, like she has like an aura around her too, bro. When you watch her, like she like you look at her and what she does and you just think, yeah, she the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? She's that nice. So yeah, I got Simone Biles as my number 2.
Yeah, my number 2, and maybe I didn't really watch her play, but I just felt like I had to put her on this list, and I'm a little surprised you don't have her on this list, on your list, and that's Billie Jean King. Is the widely regarded as the great.
I thought about it, but she was a little before my time.
Okay,
she's more of Scott. Like Scott would probably have her. I ain't quite there yet, but she was a little bit before her and Martina Navratilova were like just before. Like I caught the end of Martina's career. I never saw Billie Jean.
Okay. I had to put her on the list though. Like there is
no. Yeah. I got you. I mean? Yeah.
Because I think we probably have one the same.
Yeah.
So I can't put number 2. I can't put. You got to have this Billie Jean before you have number 1.
I got you.
Because I feel like without Billie Jean, there's no number 1, right? There's no.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
You know what I mean? So, she won 39 Grand Slam titles.
That's crazy, dude.
You know what I mean? 12 in singles, 16 in women's doubles. She was a women's activist at a time. Remember, she Battle of the Sexes.
Yeah, you know? She played a dude. Yeah, she played that dude.
Yeah. So, Billie Jean King is, and again, I didn't get to watch her play necessarily, but I felt like she deserved to be on the list. So, but that's my number 2, and I believe we probably got the same number 1. And
it's Serena.
Serena Williams.
Yeah, no doubt it's Serena. 23 singles titles. I didn't even pay attention to like the doubles titles. I know she's got a few of those with her sister. But yeah, she just spent the most weeks at number 1 in the history of tennis. Even after she had the baby, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the only reason why she wasn't number 1 for like a minute, was because she wound up having a baby. It still came back and was a fairly dominant player. One of the greatest athletes, period. But as far as women athletes, I have to put Serena Williams as the number 1.
Yeah, so this says in singles, she has 73. I'm looking at her Wikipedia page, 73 career titles. And she has 23 double titles. So
she's got 23 Grand Slam titles, like the major.
Yeah.
The major ones, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, the Australian Open, 03, 05, 07, 09, 2010, 2015, 2017. The French Open, 02, 13, and 15. Wimbledon, 02, 03, 09, 2010, 2012, 2015, 2016. U.S. Open, 99, 02, 08, 12, 13, 14. One Grand Slam in 1999 where she won all of them.
All 4,
yeah. You know, so she's the greatest all time.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I'm saying. So,
kudos. And again, that's why I had Steffi Graf on it again, and that was probably more my bias because I was a fan of her while I actually got to see her play when she was in her prime. But you know what I'm saying, no doubt, like you said, Billie Jean. Being on the top 5 list, of course, with everything that she's done for the sports and for the sport of tennis and for women's sports, period. But yeah, Serena is just like, she was just so dominant. It was like they tried, like there was nobody there to like be like her main competition. Like she never had that. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a couple people that tried, but like she was just so dominant. It wasn't even.
She wasn't there. Like she lost in the final, and it was
right.
You know, and sometimes she lost to her sister. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah.
No, it's a good list.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, Serena for my lifetime is the greatest female athlete. And there's like you said, Caitlin Clark, Diana Taurasi, all deserving like honorable mentions. Like we could make,
Yeah.
yeah.
That Mia Hamm was a good honorable mention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Lisa Leslie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There was
Cheryl Miller.
Cheryl Miller. Yeah, I wish I could have been able to see Cheryl Miller play. What's the Vaughn girl? That's the great skier or whatever.
Oh yeah, Lindsey Vaughn.
Lindsey Vaughn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mary Lou Retton, if you want to go old school gymnastics. So I mean, there's a lot of honorable mentions there. Some golfers, if you want to throw Nancy Lopez in there as a golfer, but definitely a lot of top female athletes. So yeah, this was a fun list.
Yeah. It was real quick. We had some breaking news while we were on the air real fast. The Bills have cut Von Miller.
I'm sorry, who did they cut?
Von Miller, free agent.
That makes sense. They just gave Gregory Rousseau a contract extension, so
yeah,
that makes sense there.
Von's at the end of his career.
Mm-hmm. See, so that's another pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. The pass rusher market is going to be kind of crowded. You know what I'm saying, at the top. So it's going to be interesting. Like
a lot of vets at the
a lot of vets. You know what I'm saying, but it's going to be interesting to see. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I think your suggestion that Mama Bosa mentioned about, you know what I'm saying, him going to go play with Joey, going to go play with his brother in San Francisco is probably. That would probably be a smart thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't think he's going to ask for all that much money unless he's just trying to get paid again, which, you know what I'm saying? So. You've already made money, bro.
Yeah.
Why not go play with your brother, have fun playing with your brother, be part of that rotation in San Francisco? You know what I'm saying? Because, again, Philly showed it and the Giants showed it when they beat the Patriots twice. Like, you know, as much as it's an offensive league, if you have a defense that can put pressure on the quarterback without blitzing, you have a very good chance of stopping any offense. So pass rushers are key for any team. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see if Joey goes. I mean, you right there in LA anyway. Just go right down to right up to San Francisco and boom, you go play with your brother.
Yeah, that's true. The 49ers are going to be interesting to watch this offseason. They already traded Debo. There's reports of trading Ayuk, which I don't really know. They just gave him a contract, but there's reports that the Patriots are in on him or trying to trade for him, which I don't know if that makes sense. If you gave him a contract extension and paid him last year, why the fuck would you trade him this year?
I don't think they really wanted to give him the contract. That's why. I think they did it just because they probably felt they had to do it because they needed the player.
Yeah.
But if New England, and New England has a lot of top picks, if New England gives up a 2 and something else, you know what I'm saying, why not? And just kind of, you know what I'm saying, kind of restock with their wide receivers, you know what I'm saying? Because Kyle Shanahan probably sees them as fairly interchangeable. As long as you got Christian McCaffrey back there, you still got George Kittle at tight end. You can kind of mix them out. You got Jennings, who he loves at wide receiver. It's a great blocker. San Francisco can get by. San Francisco can get by without Brandon Ayuk if they'll probably draft somebody too.
Yeah, they got the Ricky Pearsall last year.
Right. Yeah. So you got Ricky Pearsall. You got what is it, Jawan Jennings or something like that. And he's a big kid that can block well, knows the system or whatever. So yeah, I could see San Francisco trading Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see it, but we'll see. I mean, I didn't see Geno going to the Raiders, so I don't think anybody did. So, on that end, real quick, I guess they offered Geno, DK, and a pick for Max Crosby. This was before Max Crosby got the bag from the Raiders, and then the Raiders said no, and then they gave Crosby the bag to make sure he's their franchise player for years to come. Which that makes total sense. Like you just signed Christian Wilkins this last offseason to kind of solidify your defensive line. Yeah. Max Crosby is one of the best. Not only is he a great pass rusher, he's good against the run. He's got a motor that doesn't stop. He's a leader on that defense. Like, yeah, you need to
you need to lock him up and keep him a Raider for the rest of it. He just looks like a Raider.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's perfect for the Raiders. So I like that move by the Raiders, and they still wound up getting Geno anyway.
Yeah. Johnny, before we get out of here, you got any final thoughts or anything to dump out or
No, just happy to be back. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, had a nice week this week. My birthday, was on vacation for the week. Got to just chill and hang out with the fam, watch a bunch of TV and movies, and just chill, going back to work tomorrow. So, just happy to be back on the show. Looking forward to next Sunday. Be on the lookout. Kendu Sports Network. Dolphin Chronicles will be coming back. We got the tampering period, I believe, starts tomorrow.
Yep.
And then the Johnny Cruz show is going to be coming in the next couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for that too.
All right. Other than that, folks, we'll be back. I'll be back tonight, 7:00 Central. Joined by my my guest tonight will be none other than Mr. U.
Mr. U.
So tune in to that. Mr. U, it's covers the Giants, covers all sports, really puts out a lot of great inspirational speeches on his podcast. Can't wait to talk to him tonight. It'll be a fun one. So tune in tonight, 7:00 Central, as I sit down with Mr. U. So
Nice.
Other than that, folks, we'll be back next Sunday, 8:00 Central, 9 Eastern. So be a friend, tell a friend, like, subscribe, share. See you then.
Peace.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.